hello, it's Jane. Nice to see you. Right, it is flooding outside. Well, actually, not flooding. It has happened before, but hopefully not today. I'm sure it will somewhere though. That's Australia, droughts and flooding rain. Anyway, I made it to the studio without getting washed away. And we're going to do something really fun. So what I've also got to do is do some more photographs of the new tattoo inks in action. And I realised I'm trying to do a newsletter. I don't have enough. I don't have enough images, so I need to sort that out. I'm also in the process of starting, not a journal. Why just start a journal? No, I'm trying to start 3 new journals. And I'm also trying to finish the ones before this. Now I've just realised I've left them upstairs, yes, because it was raining and it was just too wet to bring them down, and my air conditioner isn't working and I think I'm going to die. Excuse me for 1 second while I alleviate death. Right. This little illustration that I've put onto the journal. So the journal comes plain with a canvas cover. This one's the glittering prize, which has got the glitter infused watercolour paper. Love this paper. It's a cold press. It's got a very, very small amount of texture in it, which is great for watercolour. I love rough watercolour paper for watercolour, but it's not great for scanning work and being able to use it in other ways. And pens, collage, other stuff doesn't like it, so I don't tend to use it as often. I've decided to go for a new aquaculture of, I'm going to finish the other ones, which I've left upstairs of course, and I've already started my new Back to the Fuchsia. This is a watercolour paper as well. It's got a slight bit of texture on one side. Oh, I forgot to paint my nails, sorry. And a smooth surface on the other, so you get the lovely drawing texture and the watercolour, you get the both. So I'm going to pop them to one side. And this cover, I really like how it's turned out, because I've got quite a few of these journals going, of course. This is Glittering Prize. It's got the silver around the edges, the silver embossing on the front cover, and then the glitter infused paper, like I said. Oh no, this isn't the one I started. I started this girl the other day, didn't I? Yes. We're climbing the colour ladder. The social ladder was the thing. But what I did for this cover was, this is actually a sticker from the Marzipan Twist set. So you get we send you a set of stickers that come with it, which have the names of the colours on there. And you can cut that off and pop it on the crayon if you want to, like this one. You don't have to have the name on there. It doesn't really make any difference. For most normal people, probably makes no difference at all. But for people like me who have rainbowitis, I love having the colour name on everything. So it's just a thing. So, but anyway, I've used that part of the sticker to stick on the twists, and this part of the sticker is here. And then I've put some washi tape down here, and then painted it with black paint and then removed it. And then I've added paint over pens and this and that, just so you know what I've done, in case you wanted to have some similar fun. Oh, and then I've also put matte medium over the whole thing. I don't think I've put it here though, hang on. There's a chicken, a bush turkey out there, and the dogs are going to bark at it. Sorry. It's just nothing that can be done. As well, Zorro just coming to tell me everything about the news. So I have actually put a layer of, if I want to keep decorating with my paint over pens, if I want the marker not to sink into the canvas, what you need to do is prep the canvas. Like if you buy a canvas, just excuse me for a second, he's not going to stop. Zozzy! Zozzy! Oi! Mate! Oi! Dude! Come here. Do you want a treat? Hey, Zozzy, do you want a treat? Look at me trying every trick. Do the gruff voice. Do you want a treat? But like a canvas, if you just paint on fabric, the canvas just gobbles up the paint. Like feels like endlessly. That's why we put gesso on it. But we can also do it with matte medium. So I'm going to give it another little hit so that I can decorate this a bit more if I want to. But I'm going to have to do a second layer because the fabric is gobbling it up. Gobble, gobble, gobble. I'm putting it over the sticker as well, even though it's going to say, excuse me, love, no. And we don't want to do too much at once because then you can get bubbling because the cardboard underneath that helps make up the cover isn't really for... It's not really made for this extreme sport. But if we just do a little light layer, it's like getting caught in the rain. A little bit of a shower isn't going to hurt anybody, but if you get soaking wet, you have to worry about what bag you're carrying, what shoes you're wearing, that sort of stuff. Okay. Am I procrastinating? Procrastinating? I might be. Right. So I've got this little journal, and I've got my 3 new tattoo inks. So I've got In the Navy, Yo Ho Ho, and Shiver Me Timbers. Love. In the little box, there's also a little sticker. This is part of my obsession with naming things, okay? So these sorts of little doodly-doos where I've added stickers for names and things, I don't include them in the costing of products because they're my affectation. I feel like not everyone wants them. Well, what do you guys think? Do you love having the name of things on things? And I do, so I'm obsessed with it. It's just part of my rhamboitis illness. Like this, so I can put it on my Dr. Ink. Anyway, be thankful I only put one of each one in there, okay? But I don't include them in the pricing because they're for me. It's a personal thing. Just a weird thing. Now this is the little journal. I'm going to have to just shut the door because Zorro's being a silly. Hey, dude, Lino, the bird doesn't care about you. Inside, come on. Come on, mate. That bird doesn't care about you one thing. That little bush bird, the bush turkey. Oh, what was that? Something fell over, but I don't know what it was. That bush turkey doesn't give two hoots about you, mate. So you're just barking into the wind. Sorry, I'm just getting my little dog sorted out. Even if you can't hear it, I can, and it's very high pitched and it grabs my brain after a while. Good boy, what a nice little boy. So professional, Jane. Yelling and screaming for your dog to please be quiet. Anyway, I've loaded up. I think you watched this, I think you watched me doing some of these. So the Dr. Ink pens are just so good. Especially for what I want to do today. I've been doing this while I'm watching television, while I'm watching movies, and this little process. And, oh my gosh, why on earth would that fall off today, of all the days? How strange. A little boblet fell off a cupboard. Haunted. Anyway, this is the Dr. Ink. This little piece here comes out. So it's the Dr. Ink or Drink Your Ink pen, right? This we put into whatever ink, any fountain pen friendly ink, pop it in there, the ink absorbs up, pop it back in the pen, and then off you go and create your own. So I've got a lot of waterproof inks here. Some are not waterproof actually, because I made a grey one the other day, Kraken. Love that. That's from the Legends of the Sea set, but it's not a sheening ink. It's a Gods and Monsters formula. So it's a, it's called a chromatic colour. It's got some other name, like a technical name. That's stupid. Sorry. I didn't name it. Otherwise it would have a cool, funky name. Cool to me anyway. This is Josephine's Star Power, and that is Marilyn's Star Power. This is why it's important to label the things. Otherwise, you'll have no idea if you try and remember what's in the pen. And if you've got some that are waterproof and some that are not, you do need to label them. Just so you know what you can add water to and it's not going to move. But then I've got my black carbon ink in there. I've got my hot pink, my tattoo pink, my tattoo just normal black tattoo ink, and tattoo kink. So they're the original three. Then I've got the three new ones. I've got Kitsune, which is from the Pigments of Imagination, another waterproof set of inks that we have. By the way, if you love Pigments of Imagination, or you're interested in those, they're the ones you need to order next time you put in an order, because we will run out of those, and I don't know when I will be redoing them, because I just can't do everything all at once. There's two different sets. That's these little guys. There's 12 colours in each. That just, as a little community service announcement. Okay, I'm just having a quick look at colours. Oh, Vale just got her License to Quill pen, so that's another waterproof. Just looks cool, even just to look at it before it even does anything, before you even open it. It only gets cooler, but even just like that, we're happy. Oh, sorry, she didn't want to stand. She can stand there though. Okay, right. So here I was playing, did I do this on camera? I can't remember. This is Tippy Toes and paint over pens. I've got watercolour and goodness knows what. This is where I took my Dr. inks to the gallery to draw with. And, oh gosh. Oh, stop it. Not you, I'm talking to Zozzy. It's just being an idiot. I wonder what a 2 kilo Chihuahua and a Pomeranian think they are doing with all of the shenanigans. I mean, really? I was walking Poppy down by the beach and he was popping off at the bigger dogs and he was overexcited and, everyone laughs at him and, little man syndrome, all that sort of thing. And he thinks he's really, doing something. Anyway, he went to pop off at this massive dog, and the big dogs are always quite lovely and ignore him, as they should. And he's there just, being an idiot. And it picked up, not a stick, a branch that had fallen off the tree, huge, just picked it up like it was nothing. And Poppy then immediately pretended he couldn't even see that dog. He thought, yeah, I've done my work now. Just looked in the other direction. It was just quite funny. So what I've been in the process of doing, exactly what I'm doing here, just taking other little bits and pieces that I've already worked on and adding more pen here and there. It just makes everything look so much better. Just adds little extra layers, and I just do a little bit on each page And it's actually a brilliant little warm-up as you go into, if you wanted to do something else. Or like I said, watching television. You know, I do a lot of that when I'm watching telly. And I suppose I'm not completely engaged in what I'm watching, but then again, some of that just doesn't deserve it. It gets a bit boring. You can always put it down. But also, I love that semi-conscious sounds like I'm not awake, but that, I wouldn't know, what do you call it? Where you're not really concentrating. I'm doing too many things at once. I'm watching the telly, I'm trying to follow something, and I'm also drawing. So I'm not fully committed to anything, but a lot of interesting creative things happen. You don't have to be fully concentrating to be creative. I find that fascinating. Oh, you have to be awake, I guess, somewhat. Why have one line when you can have two? It always, especially with fine lines, it just makes them all better. Come back with fresh eyes, take one pen and come along and do a little bit on each page. So this one's not a nearly finished journal, so this isn't quite exactly what well, it is, but this was just a very, very quickly, I must have just been showing the stencil and the stamp and joining, you know, things of two different scale together. I don't know what I can't remember even doing this, so who knows. But diving back into it, so I've always just flipped past the page, like it was a who cares page, like a whatever. And I'm starting to really quite like it, just building up some shadow and some detail. I can't remember if I sat here and fiddled with this with you, or if I was just doing this on my own. I think I did this with you the other day, though, just adding in, this is Tattoo Kink, and just some very fine lines, a little deary poo looking up at the moon, and it just adds, I think I did it on Instagram, yes. Okay, anyway. But this is a nearly finished journal. I'm so close to being able to call this nearly finished. Now, there were some pages in here that I really didn't like, and it was, now my camera is really in the wrong spot. It's too far away from me. What's going on? Sorry about this. I just have to change things just a little because I feel like I'm drawing with my hands straight out like Frankenstein. So there are pages in here, there are things that I like, but there are a lot of things in here that I don't like. One of the things I really don't like is when I'm doing text, there's just one line. I just don't like it. It bothers me. It's not finished, it's just not done. It just looks I haven't decorated it. What did I do with my black pen? There she is. Good energy is contagious. So I like the word. I like the colours that are underneath. So rather than tell myself what it is I don't like about a page, or it just makes me want to flip past it, I try to think, okay, what can we do? What do I like about this? How can I get more of what I like? How can I add more of what I like in here? Now, I've got to be a little bit careful. One thing that no pen on the planet likes is oil crayons or any form of crayon. There's not a pen on the planet that likes it. There's some that will tolerate it, but Brush with Foam will tolerate it, but doesn't like it. So, good energy is contagious. I would like that to stand out. I just don't like it. It's not even contagious. But I don't want to drag my pen over that pastel that's in the background. Actually, well, if brushed with foam and a paint over pen is the one that's not going to be bothered by it, let's do that then. Oh dear. That one is empty. See, then at some point we have to decide when the journal's finished too. It's like deciding when an artwork is finished. It is when it is. It's a bit of a strange thing. I don't like the sea. The sea is just not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. So this is the mirror marker, but I'm adding a little bit of Silver Fox. Oh, I like the white in there better though. Oh, we're getting there, and then I'll just leave that for a bit. I've never liked this fox lady. Do I have to? I love this. So why don't, is it because she's just standing out too much? Would I be better off just like doing something crazy and just put, I don't like her as it is. Sorry, love. It's nothing personal. I painted you. But what happens if I put hot pink over her? Because I don't care, I'm just going to do it. And this is the tattoo kink. Whatever. We have to finish this page. So now she has some, she's got pinkyitis, pinkiosity. So I like the saying, good energy is contagious, but she's not giving me good energy. So I'm going to give, I'm just going to have to find a way to make that. And then if I really can't make it work, what I will then do is paint right over it. Got one more chance, love. I think it's all this dark black that's here. Let's give that a second to dry. Oh, actually, I can let her, I'll take that off her eyes. And her face isn't all turning at the same rate. There are some technical things happening in here. Do you know what? Hello, sushi roll. And because of this is the paper, I already know she's all good. Now, the brush I'm using is one of my original ones. These are good with any art supply. The hot pink's going to come up and through, that's okay. But if I don't like her, sorry to tell you this, love, but I don't like it so much. Why don't I just do that? I don't mind the pose and the ears, and I like all this background business. So that's all good. I'll leave all that. And then we'll let that settle in, because I've just put that pink down and it's not dry. It'll probably come up and then it'll tint everything a bit pink, but that'll be all right. We'll just put a sheet in there. I'll have a quick look at questions and do this at the same time, and I'll throw everything within throwing distance on the floor. Might give it another hit. So the opposite of pink is green. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Have I got my colour wheel? sitting here. So this won't even be on the colour wheel because it's so pink, but the closest we're going to get is in like these sorts of colours. So the opposite is here, and then you look at it's turquoise green, that kind of pink, to mint green. What I could do to neutralise that, if I add just mint over it, it's not going to be quite what will do it, but it'll help neutralise, in theory, colour theory, right? But this will make a mess. But it won't stay mint, it will mix to a beige. Isn't that incredible? So it doesn't read as mint at all. It still could, but it's going to be a beige. Now, if I fully activate that, let it be full-blown layer cake, I'm not going to get such a sheer application, so that wouldn't, what I've just done, I can get it to stand out as mint is all I'm trying to say. It's just, I'm trying to have a little sheer coverage to turn it beige, to turn it muddy. Rather than, if I keep painting these colours, the actual beiges, over something pink, hot pink like that, that hasn't settled yet, it's going to just keep, the pink is just powerful and it's going to just keep on coming. So your colour theory is a powerful little knowledge. I must get more of these colour wheels. They're just, this is a very good one. So if you wanted to look that up, I don't know if they make them anymore, I'll have to check, but this is a Pick, Point and Matte Rainbow Colour Selector. It's a very long name. Colour Sense System EK Success. Who has eyes that can read that? Come on. Printed in Taiwan, assembled in China. There you go. Right. I've had that for a long time. It's for quilting. Right. Yes, Missy Lulu, gesso will work at covering her up, but I don't want to completely cover her up. I want her to shimmer through, and why would I want to do something that was the easiest thing to do? I want to make things as hard for myself as I can. But look, I taught you something, so... But even if I put the gesso on, if it's something that's really hasn't settled, like I said, and it's really going to town, it's going to, that pink is still going to keep coming through. So we're using a little bit of colour theory to attack her. Right. Always be generous with your kindness. Well, that's good advice, isn't it? That's not, I was going to do grey, but that won't stand out. And this is Dr. Ink over layer cake. This is actually an art foamy, and I painted the face on there, and it's quite a thick application of layer cake, and there's pastel on here and goodness knows what else. The Dr. Ink doesn't mind it, but every so often you might just have to just take off any excess whatever is on there, so the ink can still keep coming down. Just where it's thick. You can get that sometimes with watercolour as well. It's just where the pigments are, you know, just doing their little thing, their numblets. Oh, good boy, Sozzy. Good boy. Doing positive reinforcement of when he's being quiet. I shouldn't have said anything now. He's fired up again. Yeah, just a little bit of just extra lines. Like, it's not totally needed, but for me to make the artwork feel like I don't just want to go rushing past it. It's only for myself. And this is, working on this is just as rewarding as starting something new, really. Depends on your mood in the moment. Because I'm not in a rush to do more art, to fill more journals. That's not a goal of mine. I'm just thinking as I'm talking. After all, it's free. Always be generous with your kindness. After all, it's free. I told you I've got a few afflictions. I have to label things. That is just art supplies. It doesn't relate to everything else, but I must have labelled art supplies. It is what it is. I've accepted it. So, and I have to have. I can't just have the writing. You know what I mean? Just like that, and then leave it. I have to come back and do other things to it and decorate it and put dots on it. Otherwise, I don't like it. To me, it just looks finished, like so much better when it's got little doodly doos on it. And I must say, it's not something when I look, oh, now Ozzy's dancing. Hey, Zoz, what you doing? Tap dancing. When I look at other text, I'm never judging and saying, oh, that one hasn't got double lines. No, I'm just talking strictly about my own journals. And I've just realised that for myself. Yeah, because I'm not looking at anyone else's writing going, oh, it doesn't have decorations. And these pages, I really did not like at all, but I'm getting there. You know, I've got my little hand here. I'm just going to put a few little extra lines as she has her colour selector here. Oh. The fingers get smaller as they head away from the thumb, love. Not bigger. Not a Sasquatch. And that is more the line rather than that way. Okay. Looking at my own hand for a little bit of anatomy tips and using the paint pen as a white pen. As an eraser, rather. There was a deer there at some point. I've got some journal tattoos. And I've got star power there on the little baubles. And little journal tattoos in here as well. Now, if you're doing a bit of acrylic paint like that and then turning the page and moving on to another page, this is where these sheets just come in so handy because the pages won't stick together. I love that as it is. That's cool. I kind of like this. This is one of those art foamy stamps there. I just cannot stand this. I know I say trust the mess. I can't stand it. I really don't. Like, I rush past it. I anticipate it coming up. I wonder what I should do. I don't trust the mess. This mess. in particular. Oh, Pam says, I can't quit staring. Well, how can you stop? Your eyes have been latched onto with laser beams. Trust the mess. So, okay, using my own words, what do I like? What do I don't like? This over the orange and the red, they're just not vibing for me. They're just not, it's just not vibing. So do I just say, who cares? Like, whatever, it's just one page in a book. Does it even matter? Or do I try and get this so that the book feels completed and trust the mess, as this message says, and try and learn what it is? Or you can always learn such interesting things from what you don't like and what you do like. That is just as valuable. So this is a little technique I use sometimes before I go in complete. I was just thinking I'll go in with white paint around. This can still shine through a bit, but I wonder if before I go in with painting all around it, sometimes this, what I'm doing here, I love the process of doing this for a start, but sometimes doing this, it knocks back the background, if that's what's bothering me, in combination with this. But if I knock that back, maybe I don't need to paint, maybe this, it will still let that parts of that background show through, and maybe I'll enjoy it, it'll be okay. Am I explaining this very well? Probably not. But it's just something it's like a little device that I can use. And rather than these words just floating, separately, like I'm joining them together as a block. I think that looks way better than what it did before. I kind of like it now. So I'm going to take, what I like now is this. I'm going to take this over here, and I do love this little lady here. I do like this little bit of lace that I've got here, like where I've, but I think this, I drew her trying to enjoy this page, and I decided I like that little bit there, so I made a shape around it and turned it into a dress. Rather than, I'm just trying to make my mind focus on what I like and then create more of that. Let that shine more than think about what I don't like and trying to cover up what I don't like. I'm trying to, you know, just get my brain to think of things in a little bit of a different way. Just because it's, I think it's more helpful. Then you can add those little tools to your kit in your mind, because then your mind is, it knows, oh, I can drag out that I know I like, that I think looks good. They want to see more of in my artwork and in my days here on earth. Rather than looking out, your mind then looking out for things that you don't like. Well, why do we want our brain to be looking out for things we don't like? I'm just cleaning this one up. Come on, little guy. I'm going to leave him on his head in a jar, like that, that little white swan. Here we go. Could also be that I've used it all up. I can't shake it and hear if there's ink left or not. One of them must be getting close. It must be that one. Well, she sort of fits in with our Jane Austen too, really. I'm not getting to what I was hoping to draw, to work on, which was the pens. Well, maybe I'll get there. Oh, my mum has been to see the Monet exhibition in Perth. I think it's the Impressionists, and it's like a light show. I don't know if there's any actual paintings, but you sort of walk amongst the paintings, like Team Labs in Japan that I went to. It looks like. It looks pretty amazing. So if you're in Perth, or if that's travelling to your city, you'll have to go. But she just loved it. My other auntie couldn't get her out of there. She just thought they'd lost her forever. She's going to move in. Oh, I love putting little marks on things. This is a journal tattoo, by the way. And just some watercolour. So I'm getting there with this. It's not there yet, but one day I hate it less. That's good. Trusting the mess isn't easy. And this is one of the tools we can use to get us there. It's mindset, isn't it? So this is sort of like a building. Should I let it go all the way up? Should I let it be a building, a foundation, a testament to the philosophy of trusting the mess? Not ripping out pages and painting over everything. Just trust that eventually we'll get to where we want to get to. Okay, I'm going to fix a little face up. I mean, if we're talking Jane Austen, melodrama, Bridgerton, we need to go a bit fancier with the with the sleeve for a start, and we probably need a few bells and whistles here. And of course her thumb wouldn't be on that side of her, so her hands are out the wrong way, which is always excellent. So thumb would pop out, but it wouldn't be that big. The hand is enormous anyway. This is why we have Brush with Fame, just to knock that back a little bit, and then worry about that at some other time. Trust this. What happens if I go over with a little bit? Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm gonna make myself like this. I'm gonna make myself like it. Oh, I can hear the birds singing out there after all the rain. The little willy wagtails. Because also, what I should say is, I remember I said I like this, and I just went straight past. I was like, yes, and this, the yellow behind it I don't like, but it's not bothering me that much. See the yellow here I like, works in. I like this, so I'm taking a little bit of this, popping it on this, that black line. And not outlining it so much, but just writing over it again. So it's got a graffiti-ish look. And I've got to say, if that you're doing something and it's not your favourite, it's quite freeing because you don't like it, that other one, you don't like it anyway. And if you've been watching me, you know, I don't like to give up. Even when I don't particularly like something. I love these S's so much more than those S's. That S is ugly. That S is nice, this one is not. So I'm just going to give a bit more of a belly and make it so that I like it. Yeah, I like it when the bottom is a bit, it's like this is fatter and that's littler. The balance is wrong. But anyway, we're little bit by little bit, I'm just going to keep doing things. And eventually, we'll get there. I love that feeling of things turning a corner and then you're like, oh, yeah, I know, yeah, we got it, woohoo. Celebrations may commence. They haven't commenced yet. Why ever do you limit yourself? So wise. So this sort of turned into the Mad Hatter. It was just a mad page of ink testing. Oh, these pens. So good. But if it's just text like that, it looks, I don't like it. I'm sort of, that looks okay silver, but I want to do gold in this one. I might have to do that with the black lines. Again, why ever do you limit yourself? Where's my... It's okay, Lizzie. I'm going to let that dry. Should I make that face stand out a bit more, or is it, who cares? Oh, the white ink in the Dr. Ink pens, you can put it in there. It just won't come out. Believe me, I tried. It's a complication with white getting through things. White ink. It's a complication of the pigment itself. If the molecule's too small, it doesn't stay opaque. Zozzy. And if the molecule is big, then it's hard for it to get through things. That's what makes the brush with fame so fantastic. But the white pigment, you just can't get through the pen. So this is all going to be a process on here. So yeah, you can't put the white. It's like you can get a white fountain penning. It's just, they're no good though. It's not opaque white, which is what you want, so that it looks like a white line. It's just not there yet. You can use a white dip pen with the white skull ink. Let's do that. Oh, this is where I had put some there the other day and I let it dry. That's pigment pebble, so I can use anytime. Here's a little bit of skull ink. I'll give it a shake, but you can even see how the pigment settles at the bottom. It is what it is. Maybe there'll be new technology one day and it'll magically, we'll be able to crack that. I'll put it here. Now really with a dip pen, I should dip into the ink. I don't like putting my pens in the bottles of ink, just because you can forget and you can have a different colour and whatever. So I'm just rolling it around gently so I don't damage my pen. And then once I've got that ink, I can give it a little whizzle, whizzle, whizzle. Now our Take a Dip glass pens, we've got them being remade right now. And then I've got beautiful, lovely white. Oh, I've got a bit too much ink on there. So that suits me, but that might terrify some people. Sorry, I'm just spreading that out. Oh, I love it. Now it's going to pick up some of what the ink, because it's got watercolour underneath, that's going to start reacting to, because this is still a liquid, it's not water, but it's, when we say it's water reactive, we mean it's liquid reactive. So if the ink itself, oh, now see how some of that paint moved onto my, that cam just provide a little ski jump there for your ink, so you just need to clean that off if it stops working, but you can still see ink there. That could be that. It's because it's glass, so it's hard. So every single art supply has its own little risk and reward. I'm doing little, I know that's quite a small little thing, just going to pop, just make sure my pen is nice and clean. The lovely thing about a glass pen is it cleans off very easily. The lovely thing about just working on these little bits and pieces is they all do make a difference. It all does more and more layers. So the artwork, the page, just becomes more and more, I tend to think of the word juicy. Even just some little tiny lines like that, it all just, I don't know, it goes to just making things look better and better. And it's fun to do is the main thing. It's always the main requirement. Otherwise, why would we be spending our time doing something we don't enjoy? There's plenty of things to do on the planet. You are allowed to enjoy yourself, even if things are bad. You are allowed to enjoy your own life, if you can. See, I just think that looks good. It makes a little difference. I'm not even going to worry about that. Makes everything a bit more interesting. Need to get some more paint on my brush, I think. Oh, I'll keep that open. I'll just pop that in there. Just so I think the paper doesn't touch. Just get some more of my white ink. So this is connecting them. Oh, I've sort of got a cross happening now. Love her little nose. Little wide set eyes. Oh no, that can just stay there like that. You know what would be interesting? Where's my little glass dip pen? I'm just going to put some more ink on. I'm just going to see if I can paint the ink on. This is because I've got it in my brush. It's going to have too much. I don't mind if it splits and splops, that's fine. Always like these little drawings. Why have one line when you can have two? And we can even use this. These are some journal tattoos here. In the background, aren't they? Yes, they are. Oh, am I putting my hand in that? Oh, I think that makes it very interesting. Those white highlights are a bit intense, so but we'll worry about it. I've still got plenty of white ink in my brush. Let this go down a little bit, and I'll just do this girl's face as well. It's like ladies that are dressed up for church. And they're having a hat competition. Maybe it's the Easter Fair, I don't know, something. People haven't come to play games, they're there to win. Oh, poo, I put my hand right in it. Not to worry, we just re-engineer things. Anyway, this process is very relaxing. Sometimes I forget that you're there. Sorry about that. Now, if I put that like that, maybe that'll stop me from. It'll stop me from putting my hand in it again. I found putting it on with the brush quite. Oh, then I can't get at things. Hang on. Oh yeah, I can see a little build up of the other See, it's coming off the paint. It just sort of sits on the glass there and just blocks the ink from travelling down. So, what's that saying? Sometimes sand, difficulty is like sand on a path. It stops you from falling over. So sometimes a little something that makes you just slow down for a minute. It's a blessing in disguise is the sentiment, the overall sentiment. But I do quite like this method of I can lean my hand on it. There we go. Oh, so fine. But I do have more of these being made. I've got new designs that I've just created. Super excited about them, and we'll have them. Because they're handmade. Each one handmade. So it'll take a little while, but I'll let you know when we get them. But if you're like me, I've got tons of dip pens. Every type of pen, really. Actually, I like her bust being a little bit more controlled there. This is a saying my mum used to say all the time in her fashion. They're not clothes, they're feelings on coat hangers. I feel that way about art supplies. They're not art supplies, they're feelings in pens. It's not ink, it's a feeling in a bottle. Oh, but I've got all that gold there too. Oh, very nice. Because that's such a thin layer, that's not going to take long to dry if it hasn't already, so I'm going to just pop that across like that. Oh, and this is where we started with our new inks. So let me get a little bit organised. In the navy, Shiver Me Timbers, Yo Ho Ho. I'll move the others out of the way to force myself to use them. And create something right now, because I need this for my little, rather than just using whatever I feel like and pull out every art supply that I have. And then I've mixed some colours. I don't have the colour mixers right here with me, but they're not far away. So that's Shiver Me Timbers, that's in the navy, and that is Yo Ho Ho. And then we can mix the colours as well to get, we've got a little bit of a beauty queen happening here. And mixing the colours is just fabulous. Now I've put a little bit of water in those ones. Because the lines are so fine, I just find myself, I can draw really quickly. A dip pen is slower because the ink can only go down at a certain speed. Paint pens are a little bit slower as well, because same thing, you are limited to how fast the ink can feed, but these are, the ink, I don't know, just they work a bit faster. They're a faster tool. And I like it. Oh, and we've got a new queen, did you know that? She's actually Australian. The new queen of Denmark is an Australian girl. The king now, he met her, I think in Tasmania. I could be completely wrong about that. They seem to be very happy. I think that's nice. The whole concept of kings and queens is a bit strange, I must say, but it's just, we're kind of, they've just always been around, haven't they? and the sketchier we make. And this is a journal tattoo here. And this is that principle with the white lines. I don't have to get it in a solid block. It can just be lines. I'm doing a scribbled line, like a zigzag, that it would be, it's the same, a broken line can fill in as much space as a solid line it can. It just tells you this has got volume here, there's something here, and it's got weight to it, because look, it's got, that is a very different creature to just a floating line like that. If we give it a little bit of scribble, but all I'm trying to say is it doesn't have to be completely solid. Isn't that fast? I find that fascinating. Stuff like that. It's not from a laziness point of view of what's the least I can do to make something look how I want it. Just, it's like a little game I can play with my mind. And how can I form texture and the effect of volume without drawing in every single hair, do you know what I mean? Or making it solid, because that doesn't look free-flowing either. And then there's also this thing of, I love drawing the lines. I just love drawing the lines. I just love it. And see, these look like little faces in here as well. Maybe this is the Queen, this is Mary, getting coronated. Or does the ring in, does the marry in, do they get coronations? Or is it just the one born into the family? I don't know. And this in the background is just different inks. Oh, pigment pebble in ink, maybe. You know, sort of like pecking out a little bit of a shadowy face in this nice soft colour. So I'd use the darker colour. Just would have a different effect. And then as soon as you've got two subjects on the page, now you've got a story, like how do these things relate to each other? Are these figments of her imagination? Is there anyone really there? Who are these? Who are these people? Are they just like in the background? Are they physically there? Are they voices in her mind? Are they her past self, future self? You know, angels and devils on the shoulder. Entities? We don't know. But that's art, you know, you can do whatever you want. And someone asked, do I get sick of, I think it was like of my style or something like that. I think I'm hoping they just meant to you, like always drawing faces. And no, I don't ever, I just love it. One day I might. I used to photograph ladybirds and bugs, and I never thought I would ever get tired of it, but eventually I just felt like I'd photographed every ladybird on the planet, and it didn't hold the grip on my, oops, I just headbutted the camera, sorry, on my, it just didn't hold the grip on me that it once did. So, you know, you never know when things are going to change. But I've always loved drawing faces and people. Especially like on weird colours like that, because you've got to try and work out how am I going to make that stand out? Or, you know, how am I going to make it so you can see what it is? We've got friends popping over for, you know, like a tea party. And Angus went down to the shops in all the rain to get some little treats. I wonder what he's got. I could just leave this very shadowy so there's nothing, so it's just like a little shadowy face, but that's not what ended up happening. So this will just be a messy little page of things. And then I'll probably decorate these swatches because that's how we do. And it is one of my favourite things on the whole planet to do. I love decorating swatches. It's just an obsession. And then sometimes there's little shapes in here, and I can, because this could be 3 little figures in here somewhere, you know. Oh, if I do it in these colours, see this, I've got a little fluffiness here. It reminds me of the Queen of Hearts, the Helena Bonham Carter one with the forehead and the fluffy bum things. I love pages like this that are just a mishmash of everything. I have many journal pages that are exactly like this, especially my older journals. When I look back on. So I think when I'm doing my live streams, I really am trying to do one thing, I guess, so that it makes sense. But sometimes we just have to trust the mess, and things don't make any sense at all. Just a quick little look at questions. Oh, thanks, Tracy Lee. Tracy says, everyone really enjoying our lives. Jane, I'm watching you paint. Thank you. Oh, look at that. So this is tattoo ink in some of the other colours. Mutiny, Gangplank, with neon pink, of course. And I think that's Tortuga. Celebrate your superpowers. Oh, that's my little fable in there. Be messy, make mistakes. I love that. That's the right kind of messy. Legends of the Sea. This is tattoo ink. Tattoo ink. Oh, so this journal must go back a fair way. Takes a while to fill up a journal. Do the best you can, then you know better. Do better. See, now this text is an absolute no. We must time for a skinny dip. So I need a nice something there. This looks like a bit of blah, blah, blah. Is that just floating there? I don't like it. It needs a container of some description, but I'm not sure how yet. Never Darlinghurst Sparkle. This is all Star Power ink. Look at that. Look at that shine. Oh, art supplies are the best. See, that's just sitting there like that. It's all right with the white, the white, the white. But if I feel like it needs a container. I used to do a lot of just writing, just free writing just there, but it's not my, I don't know why. It looks all right like that. What's going on with these little girls? Oh, this pen. Yum. Oh, just the way it's just sort of floating on top of the, I think that's layer cake, and it's thick. It's like lots of layers there. And it's just flowing over the top of it like a little dream. Like a little dream. I'm happy. I'm happy. Right, but I do need black. Oh my gosh, I should really say to myself I can't use any black ink for a week and then just see what happens, but that would be stupid. Like why? Why put myself through that pain? Silly. She chases the thought away. The scary thought as soon as she thinks it. It actually would be quite a good little thing to do. Now this little face, it's okay, but the face, the nose is turning at a different rate to the eyes. This is all turning at the same rate. This is not. So this face is always going to be a bit wackadoodle, and I just have to accept that it's just a cute little face, and we don't need perfection. I'm talking to myself, and we're having a little chat, aren't we, Jane? Yes, we are. Are we going to try and move this little eye in, are we? Yes, we are. Okay. Okay. You don't have to have it, so you need to have everything right. Oh, I better. I call this process tricksying. I'm just tricksying the eye over. Bit by bit. It'll be a bit of a mess for a minute or two while we sort things out. We'll get there, don't you worry. Or I can just say it's just a little whimsical face, and doesn't matter if it's not aligned. But you see, if I care about it, then I'm fixing it, so. Dry, dry, dry. She can have pink eyebrows, but I'm waiting for it to dry. This little one up here can have some little finessing of the little eyes. Oh, I love that. So this is mixing. I must have been showing people the little tricks in the layer cake. There's some little tricky poos we can do. Oh, I can use my gold to redefine this a little bit. Okay, so this eye is way higher, so let's bring that down at the same time. Oh, I just love this process. Just going to push her mouth that way. So it's turned, so the nose is turned, the mouth is turned, it was straight on. So the mouth was straight as if it was looking at, her face was looking at us. The nose is turned, so that part of her face has started to turn, and the eyes were looking straight at us. So that we had mixed messages, so the face was all skew-if. So I'm just getting everything to turn, hopefully, at the same pace. And the paint over pens. For using these as little erasers. I'll get my layer cake in here to do that too if I wanted, because I think that's what's in the background there. But the paint, I don't have to get any water out or anything, I'm just off I go. And these work really well with the layer cakes. Lovely! Now this, I've got brush with Fame here, I think. So I'm just going to bring this and bring it in a bit closer to the, so the face is turning. So this eye is tucking behind the nose. And then over here, closing off the eye. And it's that process again of like finding what it is that you like about something and then just keep going. But I love all their bright hair and the whooshy whooshies. All this business. Okay. She needs some tear duct. This needs to come down a bit more. We're getting there. And then suddenly we'll just be there. And everyone will rejoice. Well, maybe not, but I will. And if I don't want such drag queen sort of exaggerated makeup, I could just bring my little pen through here a bit more. Oh, the happiness. So what do you need? Brush with Fame, tattoo ink, Dr. Ink, layer cake, of course, because that's what's underneath everything. And that's what gave us the freewheeling frilly willies in the beginning. Didn't even touch my Huephorias today. They're not really a finishing off tool. They're a starting off tool. They're a watercolours really an instigator. All of these tools are as well, but these are I think really these are finishing off tools. I mean, they're anything. They're whatever you use them for. That, for moi, I do think they are all. So I need, where's in the navy? Perfect. I'm just going to, mainly because I like drawing undulating lines. There was just an opportunity to do a few more. We've got a bit of an ocean happening here. And I just like drawing these lines. I find it satisfying, and I like looking at it, but more I like doing them. Hair, the ocean, energy, flowing, whatever. Now these are dry back down here. Look how good the little white lines look. Just to give a little bit of a little edge. What a shame I put my hand in there, but I can fix that up, that doesn't matter. These little white bits and pieces, bibs and bobs, it's such a tiny thing. It's not going to make a huge difference. We're still working on this. Trusting the mess. Yeah, this yellow, no. Just took the yellow out of my brush. But I like the yellow there. So it's nothing against yellow. Do you know, I think maybe I should go white in here too. But then again, I quite like, and that's washi tape just over the eyes. And I can't remember what I did there, a bit of line work. Can't remember now. Oh, and that's right, we have this little creature too. Anyway, I think if that's dry, I'm going to do a little experiment. I'm just going to put this, everything might bleed, but like I said, I don't care about this page so much. So this might make things bleed, but it might settle things down a bit. And I'm just going to, actually no, because we've got, layer cake's pretty good for this sort of thing when you're putting acrylic over it. It doesn't bleed too much, even though it's a water-soluble media. And I think this is tattoo ink. This is layer cake over here. So if that moves a little bit, that wouldn't surprise me. But the reason I'm doing this and then let it dry is so I can work on it in a different way. And I just felt like doing it. So it's done now. And now I'm working on this surface rather than lots of layers of other things. And let's just see what happens. But is that remember I put that mint green over the top of her to make it into a beige over the neon? Crazy, right? Interesting. Okay, my friends, well, good energy is contagious. I hope so. Oh, I love her. She's on Jean. This is Pigments of Imagination. And watercolour pencil or just pencil in general. We'll let her dry, and we've got, oh, I love that page. Every dream started with a dreamer. Oh, I love that. I'll get there with this. This has got something I was testing underneath. It's very, very difficult to work with, but we're getting that. Love this page. Welcome, Matt. Something marvellous can happen here one day. We're getting there. We're getting there. Anyway, the journal is full and filling. And very filling. Except it's not because I'm hungry. Well, thank you, my friends, for joining me. Hey, Sandra, Nikki, Bam. Oh, it's nice to see you here. Babs is here. Yay. Yes, the skull ink, it's actually when you get the box of the skull ink, there's a sticker on there to remind you, and there's even a sticker, a big thing on there to remind you, don't put it, it's not a fountain pen friendly ink. It is waterproof and it is wonderful, but no, not in the water brush, dip pen, many other things, but if you need a fine line of white, brush with foam. She's your gal. Or pinpoint paint pen, even finer. It just depends how you feel. It just depends on the mood and what it is that you're trying to achieve. But this is the gold standard, if you will, in white finery. And this is, it's just a different type of delivery device, and we can get our fountain pen like line with this. This is the Italian ink, Japanese nylon tip, but solid, and yes, wonderful for detail. Well, I'm going to brave the, how good is that? They're just, I love having all these choices. I was nearly going to say there are too many choices. No, there's not. There's not. There's just enough. And then I shall fix her face up, and everything will be wonderful. And yeah, everything that I've shown you, you know, it's all available at janedavenport.com. Most of it's only available there because that's where we can really look after you, and I can just create the weirdest things. And I think that's Angus telling me I've got to go. Okay, my friends. My camera for my face is still not working. Lucky you. Bye.